Without further ado, introducing Aleksandar, a tech leader by education, experience, and nature who believes in the true value of passionate, decentralized ecosystems and also their ability to drive through breakthrough technologies. Now, for the past 20 years, Alex has led teams at innovative companies like Luxoft and many others. And in 2017, Alex also founded the blockchain lab at UserTech. Now, apart from all of this, Alex himself is a very enthusiastic person when it comes to the metaverse, and he's building something real at the moment as we speak. So let's give it up for Alex. And Alex, welcome. It's an absolute honor to have you out here today, and all ears for all you have to share with us.
Thank you very much. Hope everybody can hear me well. Can you?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay, excellent. Just like to check before I go in and talk for 15 minutes without anybody hearing. All right, it's an honor for me to be here. I have been following and admiring and supporting and working with Indian software industry for more than 20 years now, actually. And I know how vibrant it is. I know how many bright minds and great hands and great developers are there. So if the audience here is, as I assume, then I hope that you will kind of like what I have to say. So I wanted to kind of, we're talking about Metaverse, okay? But Metaverse is a very abstract and not really defined term. It is a glimpse in the future where digital life will be much more powerful, much richer, much more real life like. Will kind of engage our senses much more than the digital life does today. But in essence, it doesn't yet really have a definition. We all have a feeling of it. We all have kind of our own glimpse of vision for it, but what it's going to be, we honestly don't know. And you know, I'm sure that even Zuckerberg doesn't know, and nobody does. Okay, because what we are looking forward is the future of digital life that is much richer and kind of emulates the feelings and the lives we have today, and enables us to do new things that we cannot do in our real lives. The most common kind of association many people have is Ready Player One, but you know, that's just one vision. Anyway, I like to take a look at it for, you know, any future technology and what it brings. I like to take a look at it as step by step. Okay, I like to take a look at it from the builder's perspective. Anyway, you know, I was saying the building part for us builders is kind of, I wouldn't say it's clear, but we understand what we have to do. We don't yet know what we need to do, but we know what we have to do. The thing is, I believe, and our team believes, that NFTs are a key part of technology for metaverses that needs to be built out to enable rich metaverses and rich experiences there. And the reason for that is lies in the very nature of what NFTs are. So NFTs, in their essence, are the way to tokenize unique assets, which means enable people to create digital items that are unique, that are protected. Okay, we all know kind of what happens with music and movies online. You know, the piracy is kind of what created actually the online video and music industries, but still the protection of the digital unique items is necessary, and that's what NFTs enable. But they not only enable the creation of them, they need to enable a lot of possibilities for using them. And creating that is actually the next step, creating that infrastructure that we don't yet have. What we have today with NFTs is extremely basic infrastructure. We can make them, so we can mint NFTs, we can sell them, we can buy them, we can transfer them, and we can show them as a kind of JPEG or video or 3D, and that's kind of those are kinds of things that are kind of where technology is today, okay? But that is far from being enough. What we need NFTs to do is what any data can do online, is fly all over the place, changing hands, doing all kinds of things. And we don't have the NFT infrastructure yet to do that. And that's what Unique is all about, is creating the next generation infrastructure for NFTs where you can do a lot more. And I'm not talking about 2 times more or 10 times more. I'm talking about million times more. And the way to do that is to create a much more efficient infrastructure, which Polkadot enables, and which is why we're working on Polkadot. The first kind of way I like to kind of put things in perspective there, why I'm saying million times better, is some numbers, okay? We're doing some internal research still to be kind of ratified by external parties, still to kind of give birth to others, but so on. But one basic piece of data: to transfer an NFT on Ethereum, you have to burn and create 48 kilograms of CO2. Okay, that's a huge number. That's a whole person. Okay. And you cannot do much of that in your life if you want the planet to survive. So it's certainly not a type of technology and efficiency that you need to make to make metaverses, because imagine billion of those. That's 48 billion kilograms, or 48 kind of million tons of CO2. The planet would die, right? And I'm not talking here about scalability. I'm just talking about impact, okay? Scalability is the next thing. You cannot have Ready Player One full of NFTs if you don't have scalability to produce, to transfer, or work with millions of NFTs in a second. So that's what we're working on. Unique today has that CO2 production is about 0.01 grams of CO2, if I remember well. It's a million times better, okay? And the scalability part is what we still need to work on, and that will be kind of the work, but it's still 1,000 times better or 10,000 times better. I don't remember. But the key here is that for NFTs to become a key part of their promise, to become a key component of metaverses, you need much better infrastructure. Now, as I said, we built it, and others are kind of working on similar things, on different things, on making the next generation kind of infrastructure to enable any kind of metaverses to live. I mean, what we have today in Decentraland is a joke for me in terms of being a base for metaverse, because if you tried it, you'll know what I mean. Then becomes the functionality. Okay, the fact that we have had collectibles as the kind of main use case for NFTs right now and in the past is not surprising to me, because collectibles are very simple. They don't do much, right? You make them and you collect them. They collect digital dust, or that you put them on a screen, or you put them somewhere. But the point is, you don't do much with them, and that's what technology can do. Now, in order to do, but if you want to have some kind of digital life, what Metaverse represents there, you need to be able to do much more things. So we're working on a number of things that enable things that we believe are key to the next generation. I'm not talking about the ultimate generation, I'm talking about the next generation. The beautiful thing about Polkadot and Substrate, that technology that is based on, is the fact that you can keep building your blockchain and keep growing with times. So we can build the second generation NFT infrastructure, then we can build the third, then we can build the fourth, because we have forkless upgrades and we can make things happen. Now, I just want to touch on briefly on things we do to make the functionality available to a much wider audience. So games is something that's used, and people play games. There's billions of people who play games, right, on their mobile or wherever. Yet crypto people, there's like maybe millions of them. Okay, so and the mass adoption of crypto needs much better end user experience in order to appeal to a lot of people. Okay, we don't have that yet, but we have a glimpse of that. We have many of you might have seen what NBA Top Shots has done. What they have done is they have managed to successfully hide the blockchain under the hood, and so that end user doesn't have to deal with the complexities of dealing with blockchain or with crypto. That is very important for mass adoption. So for that, in terms of functionality, what we do is we built a sponsoring palette, which is a part of a unique part of Quartz, our Kusama parachain, that enables any app developer to do the same thing for their users. So they can hide the transaction fees, they can hide the blockchain, they can make it kind of purely commercial-less experience, they can make it purely fiat experience, they can make it any way they want. Okay, this native sponsoring of transaction fees is something that is a key to mass adoption. Then on the other side, you have application developers that are supposed to build the apps. In blockchain space, you might have seen, if not, take a look at it. A few very good VCs have published some data on how many developers are there in each ecosystem. There's DFG has done the review, Outlier Ventures, our kind of accelerator, has done that, and Electric Capital has done the most extensive research there. That they did enormous amount of work. And we have basically thousands of people building on Ethereum, okay, developers that concurrently do that. There's 4,000 or 5,000 people. In Polkadot ecosystem, that number is growing greatly. It's much better than Ethereum was when it was, 3-4 years old. There's about 1,700 of the last count, probably about 2,000 now. But that's a very small number. We have millions of developers out there, and those millions of developers, they know how to develop in Web 2 technologies and maybe know a little bit about Web 3, maybe a little bit. Polkadot Substrate is complex. It requires months of kind of getting up to speed, learning. It is very complex. So what we are doing to enable much higher adoption among developers who actually create the apps that end user may need is develop a bunch of tools that are designed to work with the blockchain as if it's a regular Web 2 or a regular database. That is something that is actually that we've been working on from the very beginning, and I'm happy to say we have a very robust tool set for that. So basic things to work with NFTs are covered. So starting from minting, we have a minter that makes it simple for smaller collections, or we have scripts that work with larger kind of algorithmically built collections. Then a wallet where you need to see or transfer, do something with the tokens. Then we have actually a marketplace, gallery, and a number of other tools, and the blockchain explorer, of course, and so on. So all those tools that you can work with if you are a web developer. If you want to create a NFT marketplace and you're a web developer, or any kind of tech guy, you can do it in a few hours. Okay, you take a white label marketplace, you take Minter, mint them, deploy the marketplace on your domain, and with a few questions and reading the documentation that's 1 or 2 pages long, taking the code, deploying it, asking maybe a few questions to support, you can make your own marketplace in a few hours. In reality, for new people, it's usually a day or 2, but still, I'm not talking about months of research, months of trying or error. There's readily available components that web developers can understand. So for us, that's the appeal we make to most of you. So if you are a developer, we have a number of tools that will enable to do things that will, again, take you months or years and millions of dollars in Ethereum. You can do it on Unique within days and with maybe thousands of dollars. And certainly a lot of projects will be supported financially as well. So that is the kind of main message I would have for this audience. With the help of such ecosystem of developers that we hope to build, and that we are building now, we hope to build the next generation of NFT use cases that take advantage of the stuff we have. I mentioned just a few of them. So let me kind of just finish up with a few kind of things that we have already built that are important for developers to know that they can take advantage of. So we have native NFT palette that creates NFTs natively in the same fashion as ERC 721, same command, same everything, which enables much more robust, scalable production of NFTs and any operations with them. Just for the fun of it, we made also native minting of refungibles, which is fungible tokens that own those NFTs or are otherwise tied to it. I'm sure that there's a lot of great ideas around refungibles as well, or fractionalization, as some may kind of put it or use it. Besides that, we have done scheduling for transactions for NFTs. So that's something Parity has done for fungible assets on the substrate level, and we did that for NFTs, so that you can create subscriptions, you can create games that have exact timing kind of things, and a lot of developers will appreciate that functionality. We're working now with a kind of collaboration with the Remark team on nested NFTs. We have the palette kind of proof of concept for it, and we hope to go live with it in kind of, I don't know, well, not this quarter, next quarter, it's going to go live, where you can nest the NFTs, you can have father-child relationships, grandfathers, and so on. And then we have a solution there for multi-resource NFTs, so NFTs that can own other NFTs or fungible tokens, stable coins, etc., etc. These are only, again, the beginning stuff we already have, and there is a million other things that I'm sure that smart developers will want to kind of use. So if you are any of them, please feel free to touch base. Our ecosystem kind of growth team is very happy to help, give you documentation, give you training, education, any kind of support you may need for the project. So that's the kind of general pitch I wanted to make, general message I wanted to take. Guys, if you want to, and Ahmed, if you want to ask any questions, if you want me to cover anything else, please let me know.
Alex, we do have a couple of questions that have come in for you. So if you could answer these, it will be great. Firstly, this one's from Sahara, And she asks, from your opinion, what will be the most extensively used metaverse case as of today?
Ooh, as of today. Oh, I don't think we have metaverses yet. What we have is just the first kind of lab experiments, things, and so on. So I most like kind of the sandbox as an ecosystem, and there's an idea as everything, but we need them in other blockchains as well to make them scalable and so on. So here, we are only in the very, very beginning stages where you create the world, you divide it into land, pieces of land, and then you start building on that land and so on. So at the same time, there are hundreds, if not thousands of projects building different things. And actually, it would be a good time to talk about kind of the most prevalent use cases when we see those things live. Right now, we are only in the world of collectibles, and that's, for me, that's boring. That's not metaverse.
Okay, that makes sense, Sarah. I hope that gives you a better insight into what's up ahead. Now, the next one for you, Alex, is from Prashant, and he asks, what is the future of metaverse in the next 10 years?
Well, Prashant, as I said in the beginning, you know as well as I do. I have no idea. What I've learned from exponential technologies like NFTs and Metaverse is that you really cannot predict where it's going to go. You can predict the speed at which it's going to go, more or less, kind of on the order of magnitude, but you cannot predict where it's going to go. We have no idea, and the only way to address that is to do a number of things and to do what you do best, and focus on that, and that will take you, at a good spot somewhere. But otherwise, I have no idea.
Okay, super, super. One more for you, Alex. So we all know the advantages and the upside and the attractiveness of the metaverse. Now, how will this revolutionize things? Could you highlight some of the risks or the downsides related to metaverse that we still need to overcome in the coming times?
Well, first thing is that metaverse is not real life. It's not yet. And when you build it, it becomes your life. So it becomes real life. And it's very important not to kind of it's very addictive. Digital world is very addictive. It's very important to kind of have discipline in terms of screen time, and to be aware of the changes it's bringing and so on, because it does not replace your real life connections and other things you do. So I would say that's the biggest risk I see. Second thing is, second biggest risk I see is centralization. We don't want to see the big corporations doing metaverses, although the metaverse as a term was designed to, came up with in the book to describe actually a corporate created digital world, which is very utopian and kind of very sad, actually, dystopian. So I hope that we, and by we, I mean the overall crypto community and the overall kind of software development community and users, manage to create decentralized worlds that become basis for metaverse, because of, first of all, because of power, and secondly, because of privacy and all the other things. So I would kind of really pay attention to those and not buy into any corporate visions of the metaverse, never mind how kind of incentivized you are to do that.
That's a very interesting take, actually, Alex. So, okay, we have actually a lot of questions coming in for you. The next one being, this one's by Braj. Now, given there are so many different metaverses out there at the moment, and huge NFT projects like Basie and maybe more, do you see them coming together at some point, or what do you think of metaverse aggregators?
Well, as I said, we're only in the beginning stages. Uh, the it's too early for aggregators, I don't know if aggregators will actually function in a way they function in, today, like Airbnb is an aggregator I have in mind here. You're going to have actually much more sliced kind of aggregation functionality that people are going to use to try to be a kind of place to be, like bridges and kind of other things. There are bridges already being built. We are working with XP Network, for example, where you can easily swap NFTs from one chain to another. I hope that role of aggregators will be much smaller in the future than it is in the Web 2 world, simply because of centralization and all that other stuff. Or at least that the aggregation is decentralized. That's what I would pay attention to.
Yeah, that sounds just about to be the ground rule still, the decentralization of it all. Alex, giving you one more. This is by Varun. So he asks, how is the concept of fractionalized NFTs different from nested NFTs? And how does this overall impact the economics of each of these use cases?
Okay, so yeah, there are two different things. So when I say nested NFTs, I mean NFT that can have a child, or that can have like what Remark guys are doing, have a bird, and then they have all kinds of things that that add to its look or functionality and so on. So when you, for example, transfer a bird, you transfer all its child NFTs with them. Or when you buy it, you buy the whole thing together with all the components. Fractionalization is a different thing. It's basically creating fungible tokens that are related to the NFT. The most obvious kind of use case is ownership. So you create a CryptoPunk, you have a CryptoPunk, and then you divide it into how many you want, million fungible tokens, and those fungible tokens are used to trade, are used to kind of represent ownership in membership in some club or something like that, but they are much easily tradable and unidentifiable. So the use cases are really different there.
Sure, that makes sense, Alex. Lots of questions coming in again. I hope you have the time for us. We know you have to catch a flight real soon,
Yep.
But just a couple of more interesting ones. So this one's by Yash, and he asks, what is the future of 3D artists in the metaverse?
I think it's great, because if you grasp the technology, if you figure out the technology, and we have, I have a good friend who has a great kind of 3D rendering project called 3Dium, a UK project that has worked with the Boson protocol and on Decentraland. They already made a great tool to create 3D NFTs. I hope to have them on Unique as well. But if you kind of are up to date on those technologies and kind of learn how to do it, the demand will come to you. Okay, everybody in the world wants to do NFTs, and of course they want to make them 3D. So that's going to be a skill set that's going to be in a very, very high demand.
Okay, super, Alex. I think our founder, again, Amit, if we can have you on board and discuss a few things that would be relevant to this conversation. Alex.
Sure. Alex, fantastic insights. Thank you so much. I'd love to understand, how does somebody integrate with Unique? So you've got the entire NFT stack that you give as ready-made SDKs. Do people have to deploy their project on your chain, or how would this integration really work out?
Well, integration is usually, it's not integration. It's usually building. But you can use both terms depending on what the stage is. If it's a ready project on EVM, for example, on Ethereum, for example, or on Polygon or Binance Chain that's EVM compatible, you can take that and deploy it on Unique, the same way you do with Ethereum. It's easy. It's just deploy the smart contracts and then do connections to UI with a different network in place, and that's it, basically. There are some specifics in the way that MetaMask works and so on, but it's something that our tech support guys, ecosystem guys can help you with easily. So it's fairly seamless from that end. If you're only building applications, then we give you a lot of tools that I mentioned earlier, so that you don't have to build from scratch. You don't have to work on how does this chain work. We give you, the ready tool. There are, 5 different methods it uses, and off you go. You can build your UI, you can build the game, you can build the metaverse, you can build whatever you want. But so building from scratch is not really building from scratch. It's building from libraries that are made for developers who made B2C applications. So we have plenty of documentation on it already, and have, I think, a great team that can help with all of that stuff. So I think on that front, we are very ready because we started early.
Wonderful. Also, you guys have been working with Polkadot or with Kusama for a while now. How you've been recipients of 5 Web3 Foundation grants to build some of this core tech stack. Could you highlight how this journey along with the Web3 Foundation and the Parity team has been for people to get a perspective about what it is like to be an original contributor in an up and coming, layer 0?
Well, we have been in the Polkadot ecosystem very early. We kind of got our first grant in the spring of 2019, so it's 3 years ago. Okay, the very early days. So that was the reason why we kind of spent the whole year building different, building different infrastructure components, and then we decided to focus on NFTs and kind of late that year, early following year. Our final grant was for the first NFT palette that we have built. So Parity has fantastic ecosystem support that is very rich and that is very, very smart. And very resourceful in everything you need. So it is very good that they have it, because Polkadot is complex. I have to warn you, it's not for everybody. You need kind of really to invest time in learning different things, simply because there's so many possibilities. But once on that journey, you'll get fantastic support. They give grants to anybody with a good idea and capability to do it. There are 3 or 4 different ways to get them. There's Web3 Foundation, there's Polkadot Treasury, there's Kusama Treasury, Builders Program have that as well. So anybody with a good idea can come to any of those and kind of fairly easily understand what they need to do to get a grant and can proceed from there. And then there's a whole ecosystem of VCs and investors around, kind of looking for the next thing. I would recommend a lot of people who are new to the space to, depending on what they're building, to come to the specific chain, parachain, because the times when we needed more parachains are kind of, we're getting maturation in that. We have the basic use cases covered several times, but we need much more of B2C dApps and those things. And every parachain has ability to support those projects, and I would encourage actually to go there first.
Wonderful, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm on it. Okay. Thank you so much, Alex. I think we've taken a great deal of time of yours, and we actually have more questions. So we probably will shoot them by you socially, and you can probably get back to us, and we'll get back to everyone who's questioned those. Right?
Thank you very much. Sure. I'm going to have to go and catch that plane, but thank you very much.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Alex, for being here.
Cheers.